Okay, hello and welcome back to the Shotokan Sensei YouTube channel. In this short video today, what I want to discuss is the meaning of Bunkai. Bunkai is a very popular topic among martial artists, and we're always discussing, what does it mean, how do we use it, and so on and so on. So let's just start with the actual word Bunkai. So Bunkai in Japanese is made up of two characters. The first character is Bun and the second is Kai. So the meaning of the word of the character Bun is a piece or a part. So piece or part. And then if you use this as a verb, then it means to divide. So you're kind of like breaking something apart, you're dividing. And then Kai means to unravel or to solve. So Bunkai essentially, if you look at just the word, means to break apart and to solve, or to unravel pieces, to unravel parts. So what it refers to in terms of kata is, here's a kata, let's take Heian Shodan for example. And we're going to look at the kata and we're going to say, okay, what are the pieces or the parts of the kata? So we pull them out of the kata and we say, okay, there's five main moves in the kata. There's a downward block, there's a front punch, or izuki, right? Then there's a hammer fist strike, then there's a rising block, and then there's a knife hand block, right? So there are five pieces. Or we could actually say that this is a forearm block with a hammer fist strike. So 5 or 6 pieces, and then we say what else is in the kata? Well, we have different stances in the kata. There's a front stance, first move. Right? And many of the other moves, there's a front stance. At the end of the kata, there's a back stance. And then in this move, we have a transitional stance. It's called a shizentai. Shizentai is just a natural stance. So a slight transition stance in the kata. So there are 3 different stances. Front stance, back stance, and then this shizentai, this transitional stance. And then what else is in the kata? Well, there's a quarter step, quarter turn. There's a half turn right here, continuing through. Here's a quarter turn again. After the 3 rising blocks here, we have a 3/4 turn. Right? And then another half turn and so on. So we've got different types of turns in the kata. There's a quarter turn, a half turn, and there's a 3/4 turn. So when we look at Bunkai, we say, what is in the kata? We're going to ask, what punches are in there? Blocks, kicks, strikes, stances, steps, and transitions. These are the pieces of the kata. So Bunkai is about our analysis of the kata. It's about breaking it up, and it's about saying what's in there. Then we ask ourselves, how can we use it, right? So let me backtrack a little bit. Let's look at an analogy that kind of explains this maybe a little bit better, right? Most of you have probably played with Lego before. So you buy a box of Lego, and you look at it, and on the box is pictures of different models that you can make using the Lego. So you open up the box and you pull out all of the pieces, and here you have it. These are all the pieces. And then usually there's an instruction booklet, and the instruction booklet shows you how to put the pieces together so that you can get your end outcome, which is the picture on the box. Alright, so we look at kata now. Here's our end outcome, Heian Shodan, and here's all the pieces of Heian Shodan. And we figure out how to put those together in a sequence to create Heian Shodan. Now, if you remember in the Lego box, you put that model together, it looks cool, you've done it. Now you can take it back apart again, and usually there's another 2 or 3 different things that you can make with those same pieces. Maybe another type of model within the box, right? So you've gone back to these pieces again, but now you're creating something extra, something different. And that's kind of the same with kata. So in Heian Shodan, if we go back to that as our template, we look at a rising block, right? With a rising block, we know we could use that against a punch to the head as a basic block, right? So that's one way of using it. We could also use it as a forearm strike to the face, coming in this way. And we could also use it as a block and a grab with an arm break, for example, right? So already there's 3 different ways that we can use this one technique. So like with the Lego analogy, you have all these pieces, but you can start creating different models. And typically there are suggested models in each box of Lego. Just like with kata, there are suggested bunkai with each kata. So that's why bunkai has often come to be translated as application. How do we use these moves? But really, I think a perhaps in English, analysis. Because you're breaking apart the kata and you're saying what's in it. Then how do you use it? So this is what bunkai is. Now there are two other terms that you need to learn in concurrence with bunkai. There's also oyo, and then there's henka. Right? So oyo is often also translated as application. So if bunkai is analysis, then oyo is application. How do we use it? How do we make this fit in a situation against an opponent? Right? So oyo could say things like, if we're using a rising block, yes, we could use it as a block, but as I also explained, we can also use it as a strike. So oyo can say that a block can also be a strike. Oyo could say that instead of moving forwards with the block, let's use it moving backwards. Right? So you're still, with oyo, you're still within the template of the kata. You're still using the movements of the kata. But you're applying them in a better way so they fit the actual situation of an attacker. Right? If you're doing a hand sandan and you're doing this move here, maybe standing with your feet together against an attack is not the best idea. Maybe we need to modify and move in with one being a block and one being a strike. So this is a way of oyo. Oyo is taking bunkai one step further. It's saying, here's our analysis. Now how do we make it match? How do we make it fit even better? And then once you've got that, you've looked at your bunkai and you've figured out how to apply it in a more efficient or effective manner. Now we can look at henka. And henka is where we kind of diverge from the kata. We separate from the kata. We get to the point where we say, here's our situation that we've created from our bunkai and our oyo. Now what else could we do? Do we need to use a rising block or a forearm strike in this situation? Is there something better that we could do that matches our way of self-defense better? So henka is going even beyond bunkai and oyo, because it's saying, here's the situation, now let's change it around a little bit more and let's make it really effective, and let's come in with other ideas that might be even better. Right? So this is where we kind of diverge from this template. So if we're just talking about bunkai, we stick with the template and we analyze what it is. If we're talking about oyo, we make slight modifications and adaptations to the template, but still we keep within the framework of the kata. Then if we're talking about henka, now we can kind of leave that path, we can change the original meaning, and we can depart from that. So that's what henka means. Henka means to change structure, or to change the original meaning. So hopefully this short video gives you an idea, or maybe a better understanding of the differences between bunkai, oyo, and henka, and what bunkai actually means. Okay, so thank you for your time, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much.